And I'm here today feeling very 80s. I feel very 80s in this wig. I think it's the wig and the headband combo. I'm feeling like I'm rocking some kind of like 80s vibe right now. I can't quite place the year, but it feels like a lot. Hello, 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 hello to everyone in the comments. I'm gonna be doing this for a while, just FYI. I'm also gonna put lotion on my hands because I'm super ashy, and y'all will talk about me later. Okay, Halisi is still up in Portland watching. Hey, Yolanda. Hey, Mommy. Hey, Alicia. Shania, I think you might be new here. I don't recognize your name. Hey, Pilar. Hey, Pamela. Hey, FDM215. Hey, Kenya. Hey, Maya. All right. I dragged this wig out of the closet today because I washed and braided my hair today, and there was nothing else to do with it at this time. At this time of day, I'm just gonna put a wig on, rip it right off when I'm done, and go to bed. Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about what to expect and what to make sure you're not forgetting when you move abroad. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Rashida Dow. I talk on this channel about career breaks and moving abroad and living your best life wherever you are, especially if it's outside of the US. I am a co-creator of Exodus Summit, exodussummit.com. And wait, I'm on the right side. From Burnout to Bliss.co is my course that helps you take career breaks or move abroad. Choice is yours. And yeah, I live in Mexico. I've lived here on and off for 3 years. I live in Mexico City. Regulars, y'all already know this. New people, hey, 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 hey. I don't talk about wigs in every video, but we started off with that today. All right. Let's see. It's midnight in Portugal, and Halisi is sewing a Portugal patch on her favorite jean jacket. I love it. I love it. Thank you for being up. I am upper lip sweaty. I was supposed to do that before I went live, but you know. All right. For those of you who will be meeting me in Cancun the weekend of July 4th, so 1st through the 5th, if you're part of Exodus Summit, who knows what y'all gonna get? I can't tell you what you're gonna get. It's gonna be something though. Okay. So what do we need to talk about? If you're moving abroad, whatever things you need to know, whatever things you need to think of, I want input from you guys. So this isn't just a me thing. This is an all of us thing. Let me move this over a bit so I can boop, 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 boop. Okay, D will be in Mexico. Jeremiah, in Mexico City, it's 6 p.m. Mexico City is in Central Standard Time. Every time zone that the continental US has, Mexico has. So you just need to know where in Mexico someone is. Where I'm in Mexico at 6 o'clock. All right. Donna Summer on vacation. I like it. I like it. I do. I do. All right. FDM is leaving for Cancun next week. Hey, Latoya, I owe you a message. I haven't forgotten. I just been, y'all, today. The reason I didn't go live this morning, let's back up a second. The reason I didn't go live this morning is because I went to Tepoztlan yesterday. It's about an hour and a half from Mexico City. I went to Tepoztlan with Adelia. So, you know, after I say I went with Adelia, everything I'm going to say afterwards is Adelia's fault, right? Okay, so we went to Tepoztlan. It's a lower altitude than Mexico City, but it felt like we were on the sun. Like, it was just so hot. And we drank so much water, and it was never enough. And so we're all kind of just dragging today. This morning, I was like, this morning I was, felt like I was hungover. Like, and we didn't drink. I drank half a drink yesterday. Long story about why it's a half. We're not going to do that now. I drank half a drink yesterday, and I literally woke up. I was so dehydrated this morning. Like, it felt like my brain wasn't fully working. So I've just been drinking water all day. I made bacon wrapped asparagus, went to the gym. I told myself I was going to study Spanish, and I opened the book, looked at pages, didn't necessarily read them, and then closed the book and watched the movie. All right. So Ivana says I should show you the cup. The cup is, wrong way. The cup. So Ivana bought this cup yesterday. Isn't it cute? And she got mobbed by a family of people who wanted to take photo. Well, no, Ivana got suckered into a photo shoot yesterday because a woman walked up with her son and she was like, "Do you mind? He wants to take a photo with you." And Ivana was like, "Cool." And then it was like a family of 20 people. And then all of them, one by one, kept running over more and more. And then they got Adelia into it. But I'm sitting down and I'm holding everything. And I was like, nah, like I'm sitting down because we've been walking all day and I was tired. And I was like, I will absolutely not be getting up for anything until we're ready to move to the next destination. Next destination only. I'm not getting up for anything. I'm not getting up for these photos. But I moved something in my hand, I think, to take a photo of them taking a photo. I took a photo of everyone taking a photo. And when I did that, Ivana's cup dropped on the ground and it chipped. And so now it's my cup. I glued it back together with nail glue because I don't have super glue. I have nail glue. Come on. You can see right here, there's that chip. Boop, boop, boop. There. That's it. But I own this cup now. And Ivana got a different one. I bought her a replacement cup since I dropped it while I was everybody's bag handler. But then we found out that the family was from Mexico City, and we were like, you see Black people all the time. Like, what was this about? I don't know if they would have done it if we were stopped in front of a mural and people were taking photos. We were taking photos of each other in front of the mural, right? And so I don't know if we weren't like stopped taking photos if they would have done it. Nobody else stopped us in the street to take photos. I think we were taking photos and they were like, hey, while you're taking photos, can we get one with y'all? I don't know. It doesn't happen we've only had it happen one time in the city. It was when all three of us were together. So I thought that was strange that happened. But people in Mexico City would do that. Because like, there's a Black person on like every other block these days, I'm seeing a Black person. So I was like, what is this energy? But what else? All right. Okay. Angela Martin her shipping company is coming next Friday. We're out of here in 2 weeks. Yes. Yes. FDM says, look, I don't think looking at the pages counts. Today it did. By the way, I don't see anybody in the comments thanking me for making bacon wrapped asparagus for myself. I see when the comments talk about my non-studying didn't count, but I don't see you like, I went to the gym. I cooked for myself while I was feeling pretty crappy. Like, yes, what about that? What about that energy? No? Okay. So let me show you. I'm digging in a bag that has a bra. So if you see a bra, mind your business. But I'm digging in a bag to show you this picture that I bought yesterday, but I haven't unwrapped yet. So we're going to unwrap that. And then we'll get to talking about what we're talking about. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I feel like it's time to catch you up. So I bought this picture in the market in Tepoztlan. Tepoztlan is one of the Pueblos magical town. There was a lot of people walking through the streets and drinking. Magic. And how about this? And this was 160 pesos, so $8. Which I thought was a great price for it. And of course, it's got yellow in it. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's glazed on the inside. So it can be used for fluids, but I'm not sure 100% how safe it is for fluids. You know what I mean? Like, are there chemicals that might leach out? Is it okay? I don't know. But if you come over, I might make you iced tea or margaritas. I said iced tea yesterday, and Adelia said margaritas. And I was like, well, yes. Well, yes. New picture. So, new mug, thanks to forgetting that I was holding sensitive things yesterday. And new picture, which I'm going to put next to the mug. All right. That was yesterday. Okay. Loyal Sky is going on their first relocation tour, July 30th in San Miguel. Are you going with Michelle? Is Michelle doing that? I don't know. Let me know, Loyal Sky. No, Adelia was not hating on the picture. She didn't. She did not. I will say that. She, her hate is, Child. Woo! I am so glad I had a witness for what she was hating on yesterday. Ooh, okay, lead testing strips for ceramics. I'll see if I can find some. If not, maybe I can order some on Amazon. I have a list of things from when I did the no shopping month. We're gonna start this video on the real topic soon, y'all. Just give me like 10, 15 minutes to warm up. But when I started the no spend month in January, which some of you were around for, if you're not, there's a video about it on my channel. I decided that I wasn't going to buy anything unless I wrote it down first, and then later, weeks later, months later, decided, usually like the next month, decided that I still wanted it. So lead testing strips. Let's go to my list now. So, and most of my list, I have not purchased the things on my list. I've purchased some things, and some things are ridiculous. Some things are like, yes, this makes sense, right? And then some things I'm like, I deserve. I think I'm looking at the most ridiculous thing right now on my list, and it is a vintage Rolex. Because why not? I need a new watch, and I don't want a new one. Why not a vintage one? I'm ridiculous. But I also like that is on my list, and like a hair pick is on my list because I don't have one, but I can't just like, no matter the price, I can't just go out and buy it. It's not like a wish list. It's like anything you've ever thought about buying, you got to put it on the list and see whether you still want it. I'm blanking me says I can buy hers. Okay, girl, we're gonna talk how vintage is. It show me a picture. Let's see what we talk about. Okay. So it's time to tell you how Adelia played me yesterday. Because I almost forgot until someone asked if she was hating on the picture. She was not hating. I told you guys I got my hair blown out and curled by a man, a Caucasian man. I think I'll make content about that. I don't know. Last Friday. Friday or Saturday, I don't know. Saturday. And it looked good up until Friday. Saturday morning, I got up. I had to get to Adelia's early. I got up, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, this ain't it. So I was like, okay, I think it needs, because it was like kind of straight here and then like curly at the bottom. The curls were still at the bottom, but it was kind of like straight here. Because I don't own a curling iron or anything. There's nothing for me to do. I did nothing to it all week long except like wrap it up at night and take it out in the day. Wrap it up at night, take it out in the day. Looking raggedy up top. And so I was like, I think it needs more texture. So we get in the car with it. We're using a driver to get to Tepoztlan. You could take a bus, but we use a driver to take us there and back. So Ivana says, oh Lord, because she was there. Woo! I braid my hair because I feel like it needs more texture. If I braid it, it'll have a little bit more texture when I get there. So I braid like 4 big braids. I braid 2 braids, and Ivana's like, nah, you need 2 more. So I do 2 more. We get there, it's an hour and a half later. I undo the braids and I fluff it up. And Ivana is like putting on lipstick. She's in a mirror. She's beside me, but she's in a mirror. So I look at Adelia and I say, does this look better? Straight face. Adelia looks at me and says, no, not really. I was like, Ivana is literally in tears. Ivana is in tears beside me because there's no way it didn't sound shady. Like Adelia did not mean to be shady. I will give her that. But the way she said it, and then she followed up with, well, don't ask me questions if you don't want an honest answer. And I was like, you're not. Oh, no, that's what she said. Exact quote. I got it wrong. Ivana has the exact quote. I don't think so. No. Does it look better? I don't think so. No. Straight face. I was like, what? Ivana was legitimately for like 4 minutes, could not compose herself. And I'm just shocked. Like I know you're always shading, like you're a hater, Adelia. We know this, but like, she wasn't like, well, if you did that, she was just like, no, it doesn't. Y'all are saying you need friends like this. I don't think I do. I don't need friends that real. You can sugarcoat it a bit. Give it to me a little smooth. A little smooth. Right? Like I don't need it that straight. Anyway, 15 minutes of catching up. Hey friends. No, Renee, that's not a friend. That's a hater. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. Okay. We had a good day. I didn't have to plan anything. Adelia made reservations. She made reservations at a place I will not be going back to, but she made reservations, and it was not her fault that the place had some janky elements. I don't blame her for that. We're not going to talk about her for that. We're just going to talk about her for being overly honest. Overly honest. All right. We can sugarcoat things. You can say things nicely. Ivana would have said something different. Like, fix this right here or do this, not just no. No. Anyway, that's not why you guys are here. Let's talk about it. All right. I'm definitely going to put a note in here, but if you're new, just skip ahead. Skip ahead to minute 16, 17, because we spent a while just chit-chatting. All right. Belinda's getting her mental together to go. Okay. What if she's not in the comments now? Y'all see Adelia is not in the comments. She ain't got nothing to say. She ain't got nothing to say. Nothing to say. Okay. You moved abroad. Who? Raise your hands. Tell me if you're here because you want to move abroad, let me know. If you're here because you want to take a career break, let me know. If you're here because you ain't got nothing else to do, let me know. If you're here because you want to talk about Mexico, let me know. Let me know. The thing I like about my life is I can identify my haters. Like, I don't have random people, sometimes in the comments, y'all know how that goes, but I don't have random people coming in, like, creating drama in my life. I just have known and easily identifiable haters. And truly, what is this? It was funny. It was funny. It was funny to her. To you. It was funny to you. Okay. She knows she's wrong. She knows she's wrong. All right. Dee booked a flight for a 6-week scouting trip to Mexico City. Ow, 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 ow. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let's talk about it. Renee's moving abroad to retire. Nikki Kurse is here to move to Mexico. Shonda's moving soon. Reckless Love wants to move abroad. Sibongile, which I think I'm always never sure. Planning to move to Trinidad in 2025. Gigi's here for anything related to Mexico. Tara wants to move abroad. Dion Blair wants to move abroad. Nicole Chalmers here for a career break. Hey girl, hey. Sibby's moving fun soon, and I'm fun to be around. I am. Sorry, y'all. Y'all got to catch me in the morning. At the end of the day, I'm a mess. But this morning was not going to work. All right. I'm here because I want to move to Mexico, but I have 20 years worth of stuff in my apartment I need to get rid of. It's overwhelming. Yes. Yes. I understand that. We'll talk about that. Not today, but we'll talk about that again. All right. Ooh. LaToya lives in Mexico City. She's trying to figure things out. Newbie wants to retire out of the country in 5 years. Bum, 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 bum. JG is looking to move to Mexico, but I know everything I need. I so far just chit chat. Okay. Stay for the chit chat. GG's moving in August. Brie Nelson's moving to retire. KS is moving abroad. Halisi from Our Black Utopia, who has a YouTube channel about her experience moving abroad with a husband. If y'all want to know about moving abroad with a man, it's not me. It's not here. It's not. But Our Black Utopia is doing that. It's not me. All right. Svogile says, I almost got it. I got it before, and one day I'll get it again. Blacks at Global says Portugal because Costa Rica played her. Gina's doing a scouting trip. Angela's husband might want to take a sabbatical now. Yes. Yes. Okay, Angela. I love it. Okay, Renee is looking at, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, which is why it's on the screen. Caldas de Rana, Portugal. Caldas de Rana. I don't even pretend to speak Portuguese, so yay. All right. Monica Adelina wants to live abroad in Mexico. The meetup, our meetup in July, is the second scout around. If you want to meet up with us in Cancun, July 1st through 5th, you're a member of Exodus Summit, search the group. There's details about the meetup. There's a group to join for more information before you get a ticket, and there's a group to join after you get your ticket. If you already bought your ticket, make sure you're in the group for people who have bought their tickets, because that's the only place we're sharing necessary information. Meetup is for Black women only. If you have a partner that is not a Black woman and they want to come to Cancun, they can come to Cancun. They just can't come to our events. We like safe spaces. We do. All right, let's get to it. Move abroad. First things first. Y'all really gonna ask about Caldas de Rana? All right. First things first. You've landed. You're sleeping somewhere. Are your accommodations what you expected? Right? That is the first thing that can mess you up. Is you get there, you have an Airbnb, you get there and you're like, this is nothing like what I paid for. This is nothing like what I expected. Don't let that deter you, right? Like, that's going to happen sometimes, and you're just gonna have to roll with it. Your Airbnb is gonna be like, no, this ain't it. Like, or the neighborhood, because maybe you don't know the neighborhoods. If you haven't done scouting trips, if you're not really clear on what you know, don't do that. Halisi's husband is coming to Cancun. If you have a male partner, he can connect. We can ship him off. All male partners can go somewhere else. Not on the boat, where I will be drinking. I plan on being lit on the boat. Hi, friends. Okay, back to it. Accommodations. Your Airbnb. Is it okay? Like, and by is it okay? So D says she'll win yours on Airbnb, but it's a scouting trip, so it'll be fine in the end. Yes and no. Like, for those of us that have moved into an Airbnb that had roaches, rats, bugs, flooding, nasty smells, your Airbnb might be okay, your Airbnb might not, right? And so make sure that where you're staying temporarily is okay, because if it's not, you might not love the city. Like, it might be a great city for you, but if your housing is, you might not like it. So, housing. Do you feel safe in that accommodations? Do you feel safe in the part of the city you're in? Do you feel safe in the city? If any of those are a no, we got to adjust something. So safety first. Safety first. Do you feel safe? Do you like, right? Like, maybe you don't like the part of the city you're in, and maybe that's not the part of the city for you. But if you don't feel safe in the part of the city you're in, time to do something else. And oftentimes, for me, if I don't feel safe in the part of the city I am, especially because Airbnbs, like, in the moment, like, if booking an Airbnb tomorrow might be like super expensive, I'm probably going to look for an American brand hotel and try to stay there, like a Marriott or a Hilton or something, you know what I mean? Something you've heard of before, because generally outside of the US, where they're located is usually not the sketchy part of town, right? Like, usually not. Maybe in some places, I've not seen every hotel in the world, so maybe in some places, yes. But generally, they're not going to be in the sketchy part of town. So if you don't feel safe and you want to move, that's generally the move I make. Like, local hotels, you never know. Like in Mexico City, a large number of our hotels are love hotels. So you might see them on a site like booking.com where you can book by the night. But the locals know you can book in blocks of hours. And if you don't know that, you might end up in a hotel that's not your scene, which is why when I'm traveling abroad, I don't know the area. I don't know what to look for. I don't know what to avoid. I tend to like lean towards American brand hotels because I'm not going to go to a Marriott that has a sex swing. It's just not going to have there might be a Marriott that has a sex swing in the rooms, but like it's probably one that you have to request. It's not just there waiting for you. Right? All right. I stayed in an Airbnb that had a roach. The roach was so at home that the lights were on and it was just in the middle of the floor. Like, I don't know who you think you're scaring. I live here. Like, girl, the roach was like, girl, get out my house. So I was like, okay, I'm pack and leave. I'm gonna pack my stuff and leave. And Airbnb gave me all my money back. I don't know if they always do that. I know they get kind of funny sometimes, but all my money back. We not. If you get to a point where you're like, I'm not living like this, leave, go somewhere else. You'll figure it out, right? You may lose some money, hopefully never a whole month, but leave. I also don't recommend booking places for a whole month if you don't know the neighborhood, right? If you don't know what to expect, I don't book places for a whole month. I might book for like a week and then try to extend, or book and then look around and see what I like when I get there. I know you might end up paying more because you have less of lead time before booking, but booking for a month and then being like, nah, it's not going to work out. And then having Airbnb be like, oh, well, right. You don't want that. You don't want that. Okay. Who else has stayed in a really crappy Airbnb? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you stayed in a really, really bad Airbnb, because some of these places, I don't know. They just do whatever. I stayed in an Airbnb once that was literally like she booked the Airbnb. It was like she describe it. She packed an overnight bag and left. And then her Airbnb'd it out. She literally just like, her fridge was full of dairy products, like opened heavy cream and opened other milk products. And she left all of her personal care items. That's not meant to sound nasty, but it's nasty in a way. She left all of her personal care items in the shower. Like there's a razor. There's like one shower caddy and there's a razor full of her hair in the shower. I was like, I don't understand how sis literally just picked a bag and was like, I'm gone. The key was about 1 kilometer away from where she lived is where she left the key. So I had to walk there to get with my bags. I took a taxi. I took a train. I took a train to go get it from the airport. And then I had to walk with my bags because I didn't realize how far it was. She left dairy in the fridge and hair. And I think maybe a washcloth. There was something else. There was some kind of washing thing in the shower that was like just hanging there. There was no room on the caddy for me to put any of my stuff. It was just full of her stuff, including a used razor. Some of these Airbnbs are wild is what I'm saying. Like I don't book a month in advance. I'm gonna give y'all a couple days and then figure it out. Mm-mm. 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 No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. We talked about accommodations. Now it's time to look for long-term accommodations. How are you going to do that? So every country does it a different way. This is one of those things where I really recommend getting in a Facebook group of expats. It's important that it's important that when you go to new places, you try to build some community with people who have a similar background for you, however you define that, right? And so for me, it's important that I'm in expat Facebook groups, because when there is an announcement from the American Embassy, I'm not getting all their stuff. I don't want the American Embassy talking to me. I moved away to separate from America, right? But when there's something important in the expat groups, someone, Kirsten, hey girl, always drops it in to the groups, right? Like there's one person who's like, y'all need to know this, and drops it in a group if it's important, right? If you're not in local Facebook groups, you have to do that research yourself, or you don't know, right? Because the locals aren't going to tell you what the American Embassy is saying, because they don't know either, because they're not checking up on that. Anyway, that was not the point. The point was get in expat Facebook groups and use both expat, and if you're in local Facebook groups, use both of those to figure out how to best find accommodations, right? Have a list of what you want in your housing. And frequently you won't know what you want until you've done some searching in the city, right? You need to do some searching to know what you want, what's available, etc. I was just talking to Adelia about this morning. Mexico City is one of those cities where you're not going to get everything on your list. It's not going to happen. You are not going to get everything. Unless your list is really short, like I just need a room where I can put a bed. But I don't think that's most of y'all, right? Like one of the reasons I love my place is I love the view. I could move into more central neighborhoods where my getting around would be a little bit easier, it'd be a little bit more walkable. But I'd lose the view, like wouldn't have this view. So I stay where I am. If I moved inward more, I probably wouldn't have a pool. Might not have a gym in my building, right? I have things because I'm kind of in an area that is changing rapidly. Some might call it gentrifying. Some might. I'm in an area that, where there are factories. I can see factories from my window. And so I get a view. The view includes a factory, but it's a cute factory. You have to give up something. So figure out what's on your list of what you want, what your most important things are, and then look, right? Look in the groups, find someone who can help you, ask your questions, and then figure out what you can live with, what you can live without. Where can you get the most number of things you're looking for? You don't want to do this because you're not going to find everything. It's just not. In other cities, you might. Mexico City is not one of those cities. It's not going to be everything you want. Unless, as Adelia and I said this morning, unless there's no end to your money. Unless there's no end to what you want to spend. Unless there's absolutely no end to the money you want to spend, you're not going to find everything you want. And actually, that is not true. You still might not be able to find air conditioning, right? Like if air conditioning is on your list, you could have endless money and still not be able to find air conditioning along with everything else you want on your list, because we don't do that here. All right. Aunt Lou says her most important thing is quiet. This is a city where it doesn't matter how much you spend, you're not going to find quiet. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. If you go so far out, but there's probably like one or two neighborhoods where you can find quiet on like one block. But you need to know the block. I don't know those blocks. I don't go there because those are also neighborhoods where you need to have drivers, right? Like the reason it's quiet is because no one goes out there unless they live there, have business there. That's the only reason they go there. And so I don't want to live in a place where I need a driver. And so that wouldn't work for me. But it could work for you, Auntie Lou. Latoya found a place in a local expat group. Yes. Local, foreign, like get into places where people are looking for real estate. Those local groups and the expat groups are also good for furnishing your apartment, which I think we'll talk about later. You can go in those groups and people are usually selling things and doing stuff. All right. Next on the list, food. Y'all knew food was going to be in the first 5, right? Food. Okay. So you want to find your grocery stores. You want to find your local markets. I believe in finding a mix of both, right? A mix of both. Local markets, grocery stores. Some things I can't find in the local, like street markets. Like there's hummus in my fridge and kimchi. I couldn't find that on the street, right? So the grocery store is 2 blocks from me. It's important to locate those so you know where you can get food easily. When I travel, I always travel with snacks in my bag so that like if I am jet lagged, I don't have to, even if it's like the middle of the afternoon, if I'm still jet lagged, I just want to lay down. I don't have to get out of bed to get food because I got a suitcase full of food. Nuts and like beef jerky and the turkey jerky from Trader Joe's. I think it's a teriyaki one. Okay. So let's see. Y'all in the comments. Figure out. Coyoacán is quiet in some parts, pero that's relative to a really noisy city, right? It's not like you're going to be there, you're not going to hear people. It's like you're going to hear less people than in the rest of the city. All right. Next on the list, very important. How do you set up your utilities? My utilities were set up except for my internet. I had to set up the internet myself. I tried online like 4 times. It wouldn't work. I called the number. The lady was like, cool, you want to speak to someone who speaks English? No, the lady was like, we're not getting it. We're not. My Spanish and her English were not connecting. So she was like, cool, I'm going to have somebody call you back real soon. To this day, that person has never called me back. After I called her, I tried to get online and I found it. I found a way to make it work. But figuring out what providers are in your area, how to set up your utilities, very important. Don't forget it. The other thing, how do you pay for your utilities? This sounds real basic. My gas has been turned off twice because I haven't paid the bill. Now, that sounds more embarrassing than it really is. It sounds more embarrassing than it truly is. Yes, Abba, if you're going to Trader Joe's, scoop me up some of that turkey jerky. Last time I saw it, it was in like a light peach packaging. I think it's teriyaki is the flavor. Yes, sis, that's the one. And that chocolate, if you can do it again, if you remember. Thank you. All right. So, yes, my gas has been turned off twice. In the US, I would feel a little bit ashamed about this. Like, what are you not doing? In Mexico City, I'm like, it is what it is, y'all. Okay, here's how it works in Mexico City. You get a bill. I get a bill slid into it's not mailed. I don't know if someone from the utility company comes around and sticks it in the mailboxes, or they give it to the management company and they stick it in the mailboxes. But once every 2 months, I get a bill in my mailbox that is not an envelope, no postage, which is why I know it wasn't posted. It wasn't mailed. And then I have any time between -3 days and the next 4, 5, 6 days to pay that bill. Or it's too late to pay the bill. So I was talking about this with a group of people once, and they were like, well, just pay it ahead. No, I can't pay it ahead. They don't. I've paid ahead once and that money just disappeared. I paid the bill twice and the second payment just, there's no accounting to pay ahead. Just set it up for auto payment. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. What did someone else say? There are a lot of really helpful suggestions, and I was like, no, that's not how the system works. So I want you, when you move somewhere, to know how, like, make sure you understand how the system works, because I didn't understand first. Then you got a bill today. Today is Sunday. The payment is due Wednesday. Now, if Adelia was out of town, which is what happened to me, I think both times. I don't remember. Definitely the first time. Got a bill today. The payment is due on Wednesday. If she was out of town this week, what would she be doing when she came back? Literally, okay, so the way you pay your bill here is that you take it, you can, on some of the, for some of the utilities, I do have auto pay set up on my internet. I have, in the inbox comes water bills, electricity bills, and gas bills. There's a date that is like the last day to pay. Before that last day to pay, you can take the bill in cash to the local convenience stores, to banks. You can pay in a bunch of different places. After the cutoff date, I'm in the grocery store trying to pay, and they're like, no, you don't see that. You see the cutoff. That's the first time I realized it. They were like, you see this cutoff date? Like, no, they were like, no. Do I have a bill around here? Not on my desk right now. But yeah, they just be like, you can't pay it here. Yes, the money's due, but you can't pay it here. And then after, for the gas bill, water, I have some, I cannot pay old water bills, I think, without getting a statement and taking it to a bank or going to the water company in person, which I have avoided doing. But I have I can pay the current bill, but I can't pay the past due amount. There's no way to do it online that I can figure out. There is, the electric company has a kiosk not far from me, so I can go to the kiosk late on time. It don't matter. They just give them their money. I can go to the kiosk. That's figured out. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you need to know wherever you go, if you're responsible for the utilities, how to pay them, because paying online or having an automatic setup is not guaranteed everywhere. Like, there's a lot of great ways to pay your utility bills in the US. And the part that like, my water bill is like $2 a month. And I've got like 6 months behind. And not because I don't have $2, because sometimes the bill comes after the cutoff date. I got to go down to the water company and wait in line in the weather. When y'all not, I don't know when they're going to cut it off. I don't know if they're ever going to do it. But the gas company will literally be like, the bill was due yesterday. You didn't pay it. And we happen to be in your neighborhood. So guess what, sweetie? Guess what? And then now that we've cut it off, you can pay it now by going around the block and paying a reconnection fee. Or now you can pay it online before the cutoff date. And you can pay it online after they turn it off. You can pay a reconnection fee and get it turned back on. But in the gap in the middle, you can't pay it online. So if you're a day late, you have to wait for your gas to get turned off, because what are you going to do? So this is a lot. I know y'all don't need all these details, but my gas has been turned off twice because, yes, my water bill is $2. It's subsidized, I think, by the city. I don't know. I think it would normally be like $15, and they subsidize it down to $2. Not my business. My electric bill is never more than $20. And that's usually when I'm using heaters. And this is every 2 months, y'all. That's the other problem. Mail here is notoriously unreliable. So I don't get anything mailed to me. The only thing I get in my mailbox is a bill every other month from 3 companies. And so in order to get my bill in time to pay it, I have to check my mailbox like 2 or 3 times a week. And most of the time it's just nothing. Nothing. Bill. Because if you skip a week, no, Simone, you can't pay in advance, so you can't pay for the year. And so what I'm telling y'all is you got to figure this out. I am in Exodus Summit. Yes, you have to pay a reconnection fee. After the gas company turns it off, you have to pay a reconnection fee. I can go to the store on the corner and pay it. And I think the last time I paid a reconnection fee, they turned it back on like the next day or the same day. I don't remember. No, they don't send bills online. Adelia got a text, which is why it came up today. Adelia got a text today with her gas bill. I've never gotten a text with my gas bill. I went online this week and they're like, yeah, girl, this bill is due. And I was like, well, it's not in my mailbox. What are you? They're like, no, send us our money. Because I affirmatively went online because the gas company people were in my hallway. And I was like, wait, I'm not late. So they're not turning me off. But they said there was a gas leak. I don't know. I opened the window. They were like, there's a gas leak, so we're going to be out here for 5 minutes. And I was like, you don't need to come in here. But I said, okay, well, then we locked the door and opened my door. And then Adelia was like, are you supposed to like evacuate? They did not say evacuate. They said they're going to be in the hallway banging. And so I'm not going downstairs. I'm opening the balcony door, lots of fresh air. I'm going to be fine. All right. Sis, it's just, that's why I said I don't have any shame about my gas being turned off. I have no shame about it. Like, it is what it is. It happened. Okay. All right. Nikki, how can you get tickets to attend ExodusSummit.com/meetup? I think. I have that link somewhere. Give me a second. And that's to attend the Cancun meetup. That is actually it. But let me give you the longer link because this is not going to. Oh, no, this works. Boom. Nikki. All right, we'd love to see you. Yeah, girl, I wake up. Sometimes the other day my hot water heater was tripping and I was like, is my gas off? I paid. What's happening? Yeah, there's a closet outside of in my hallway where the gas company comes and just turns people on, turns people off. There's a meter there, I guess. I don't know. It's not my business. I don't know what they're doing. But important to note, if you're going to move abroad, you need to know how utilities are paid because you don't want to be like me and wake up with no hot water. The showers in I have a gym in my building and a pool area, and the showers in the pool and like the locker room are nicer than the showers in my apartment. So if I gotta like shower after I work out downstairs, I don't mind. It's fine. I'll be good for a few days without hot water, but it's still like, this ain't how you're trying to live. But I've been here 19, 20 months. Gas has been shut off twice. Nothing else has been shut off. All right. Next on the list, we're keeping this moving. Are you driving? Are you going to be driving in the city you're moving to? In the country you're moving to? If you're moving to Mexico City, I'm going to tell y'all, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Because it feels basic, right? Like, why would you, like, you just pay your utilities. It ain't a big deal. Unless I've legit picked up bills out of my mailbox that were past due when I picked them up. I know I've been sent bills that were past due when they hit my mailbox. So we just not, okay. Okay, fine. All right. That's cool. It's all right. What do we do? All right. If you're driving, Do you need to get a local driver's license? Can you get an international driver's license, and will that be enough? If you need an international driver's license, do you want to get one in the US like at AAA? I think AAA does them. Do you there's lots of stuff to think about with driver's licenses. Shonda distracted me by talking about people going to jail for not having driver's license. I'm going to drop the link to this video. If you haven't seen Danny's video yet, Danny talks about how she spent 2 days in a Mexican jail. Danny went to jail for an accident that was not her fault. And she lost her car. Car just disappeared into the ether. It was taken away, and it's never been seen again. So I don't recommend driving in most places in Mexico. I definitely don't recommend driving in Mexico City, because Mexico City is like a different level of chaos. Like, I literally don't look up when I'm in the back of Ubers, because what they are doing is not my business. Because if I try to make it my business, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to be stressed. And so I'm just going to give up and say, this is not my business. Y'all do what you're doing. Is that a right turn for the left lane? None of my business. It's none of my business. Is there a car that almost hit us? None of my business. It's not my business. I'm in the back seat. All I have to do is put the seatbelt on and ride. Just ride. So my city, Mexico City, very walkable. If you like a walkable city, get there. If you don't need a walkable city, good. I'm not saying you shouldn't drive where you're going. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's not for me here. In a lot of other countries besides the US, even like I spent some time in the outskirts of London once, for like a suburb. Nope. In a different, like a small town in the English countryside. That's where I was. And I was there for work. So they let me drive a company car. It was lovely. It was lovely. I brought that company car back with so much junk in the wheels, right? Like in between the tire and the rim and all the stuff, because I kept trying to drive on the correct side of the yellow line in these country ass roads without realizing that the locals didn't stay on a side unless there was a car coming, because the roads were so narrow. So I spent so much time trying to keep it on the right, like on the correct side of the line, that I jacked the wheels of those cars up. I brought it back like, sorry, y'all. Yes, I was driving, staying on the line. I'm pretty much like on the side of the road, on like between the line and like in the bush on the side of this like English country lane. Might have ran over some small local animals. I don't know. But I tried to keep it on the correct side of that yellow line, and it was a mess. Bali, I tried to use a scooter because I was like, if everybody here can ride a scooter, I can ride a scooter. That scooter was like, no, you cannot. And we had a moment, and I was not injured in the moment, but the scooter, I gave a scooter specific directions, and the scooter did not follow those directions. Now, I have a friend who lives in Bali. Her husband moved my scooter once, and I rented it, and he was like, it's not good. He's like, it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. This is not a good one. And so I don't blame myself for the scooter not following my directions. I was totally on the scooter, but the scooter did not go back to the rental place with all the parts it left with. I did. I had it on my parts, because when that scooter was being disobedient, I hopped off. Oh, you gonna run into this concrete thing? That's not my business. I'm hopping off. It's not gonna catch me. So, you gotta figure out what you're willing to do. Do you want international driver's license? Do you want a local driver's license? Do you love a good public transportation system? Praises, I do. Do you love a walkable city? Yes, that's me too. If you are going to drive, go ahead and get yourself driver's insurance. Get yourself insurance, get auto insurance. Please, please, please. Please, please, please. Please, please. Even our girl Danny had insurance. She still went to jail. She still ain't seen the car. But you know what she didn't do? She didn't pay for that lady in the hospital. The lady who ended up in the hospital, Danny did not end up paying for her. And who knows what would have happened if she didn't have insurance, even if it wasn't her fault. Right? I eat like a family of 5 and I grocery shop in an Uber or I get things delivered. It's really easy to get things delivered here. Well, now, when I say I eat like a family of 5, I truly mean it, y'all. I truly mean that. Like, my groceries are kind of insane. And I do it either in an Uber or I get them delivered. You'll find a way. Okay. Let's see. We talked about vehicles. How are you going to get a vehicle? I see, okay. In the expat groups, you see a lot of people who were here for a number of years and are leaving and want to sell all their stuff. They sell furniture. They sell cars. They sell, not their children, but they don't want them anyway. I don't know. They're selling everything. Everything. You see lots of like, everything has to go by Tuesday. If you've seen the mirror in my place, which I can't turn my computer now, but if you've seen the mirror in my home, I got that from a woman who was like, everything's got to go. Ahora. And so that's never a good part of those groups. More so, I see it more in the local groups because it really is like, we are moving to another country on Saturday and I haven't gotten the stuff out of my house yet. So come get it on the low, right? The low is, debatable. The other day, I think I saw a $500 chair. Was it $500 a day? Like, we were both looking at that chair like, what? Why are you? No, nobody's buying that chair. Anyway, but those are good places to find things. Like if you want to buy a car, it's a good place to buy a car. It's a good place to buy furniture if you don't want to buy everything from scratch. Furnishings are coming up again. What do you need to do to stay in the country legally? What do you need to do? What are the things you need to do to stay in the country legally? On Thursday, I'm going to get my residency renewed so I can stay in the country legally, right? So you need to figure out what you need to do to stay wherever you are legally. For some people, that's going to mean border runs. And as long as the country allows you to do it, I have no thoughts on the matter, right? Like if their immigration department is like, yes, keep coming in and out, keep coming in and out. Like if they know people are doing it and they're not tripping, who am I to say anything differently? If you have residency or you want to get citizenship, you need to figure out like what it is you need to do and make sure you do it. Because if you miss a deadline, you could be in trouble. So make sure, like I have my dates on the calendar. Like I need to do this by this date. And then because I wasn't going to go down to immigration by myself again after my last visit, I found somebody and I was like, you fill out the form, you'll do all the stuff for me? Thank you. Okay, so friends, if you're coming to Mexico City and you want residency here, I'll deal with him on Thursday. I'll let you know whether I think his services are worth it. But before I do that, I'm not giving out his name. I'll wait until after I actually have some experience with him. All right, let's see. All right. Phone service. I, in my building, need to have a home phone. It is plugged into a outlet. My internet bill has a phone number on it. I may have an external phone number. I might have a home phone number. I don't know because who would I give that number to? Right? Like, what am I? What would I don't know. But there's a number, but it's not my cell phone number. It's not my Mexican cell phone number or my US cell phone number, but there's a number on my bill. And it's when they ask me for my number, that's the number they want. I don't know whose number it is. It might be mine. I have to have a home phone because I live in a building with security that calls up and says, anytime someone comes, is this person allowed up? Before I did that, I couldn't get, I had to go down for my Uber delivery, for my food deliveries, any kind of Uber Eats, anything. They're like, we're not calling your cell phone. If you don't have a phone plugged in that we can dial the apartment number, boop, 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 we're not doing that. And so for before I figured out that was because no one told me that was a process. No one said you need to get a phone and plug it in or you're not going to get nothing. So I had to figure it out by trial and error because they were like, I figured out there was a process and they weren't doing it because they can't call. They kept saying they can't call you. You're not answering. And I was like, well, there's no phone. What are you talking about? Anyway, figure out, do you need a home phone for any reason? And then what does it take to do that? Most of you guys will not have home phones because why? It's 2022. I had to think about that. I was about to say 2020. It is 2022. You will not have home phones. Yeah, they don't have intercoms. I might have a landline, but I have definitely have a phone plugged into a local, the internal thing. I don't know. All right. Rebloom Room says, can you talk about why you have two cell phones? I have one cell phone with two SIM cards. I don't have a dual SIM phone yet, so I need to get one the next time. I think I'll do that next time. I get a phone. So I have to keep switching my SIM cards out. But the reason I do that is because certain Mexican companies that I do business with will not call a US number, and they will not recognize a US, like they won't message, they won't do anything. Like I got my fridge from Home Depot and they're like, either we're calling a Mexican number when we organize delivery or we're not calling you at all. And we're not going to email you or anything else. Like your only option is to give us a Mexican phone number. Thank you for playing. Also, the cell service, the data is so cheap down here. I pay about $15 for a month of service. Phone calls, whatever. I keep my US number just because I've had it forever. No other reason. That's it. The landline is not a separate phone bill. It's on my internet bill. If they're charging me for it, I don't know because it's not itemized in there. I get on my internet. I get internet, something else. I get Netflix for free. Internet, Netflix through them. It's like $25 a month for really good service. And if that phone is part of that bill, it's not $25. I don't know. All right. I think that's like their cheapest plan. Let's see. How are you going to furnish your home was on the list. I already talked about the Facebook groups. Make sure you're going there. You're checking to see what people have. If you don't want used stuff, figure out where people are buying things and figure out what you like. I will say I would not buy any furniture I have to live on, like beds or couches, without trying them out first. I wouldn't buy it through a Facebook group without actually sitting on it first. One of the things I noticed in Mexico is that the furniture is generally not as comfortable as I'm used to in the US. I think a lot of countries are like that too. So you want to make sure that you have a good idea. Like a couch is not a couch everywhere, right? Like a couch is not a couch everywhere. There are some differences, and you're going to want to know that what you want, like the comfort level you need, is what you're actually getting. All right. Finding healthcare. How are you going to do that? How are you finding your healthcare? Your doctor, your pharmacy, hospitals. I've talked about this before on this channel, especially during this time of COVID. Anywhere you're going to be, I say for a month or more, make sure you know which hospital you're going to is your preferred hospital if you have to go to a hospital. Which hospital is your preferred hospital if you have to go to a hospital? In a lot of places, the furniture is like sitting on wood. I knew during the pandemic, I did not want that furniture because I was going to be home all day. Oh, okay, wait. Don't just be ordering stuff. I'm telling you, don't just order stuff online. Don't go in these Facebook groups. Don't. Our friend bought a couch the other day, but she bought it online. There were better prices online, but we went to the store first and we sat on the couch in the store. We like it. Then we saw what we had available, right? Then we went to another store. There were options. We looked around. We did some things, right? I don't know if she remember if she bought it. She bought online. I don't remember if she bought it online or whether she bought it at a different store, different location of the same brand store. But anyhow, don't just be buying stuff and thinking a bed is not a bed, a couch is not a couch. The only thing I've bought without seeing it first in here is the mirror that I have. Because the mirror does not have to be comfortable. It was cute in the photos, and what else matters? The cute's cute. I checked the measurements. Everything else worked out. All right. Hospitals. You need to know in these COVID days where you're going to go. We've mentioned before, hospitals around the world. America has the shittiest healthcare system known to man. Right? Like it's crappy. But the provision of care to Black women is terrible. But there are certain comforts that are automatic, even if the service is crappy and the system is terrible, right? Like they will feed you. In hospitals in Mexico City, in the public hospitals, they're not going to feed you. They're going to make sure you get out of there alive, but your family's got to come feed you. Is this the only place like this? I don't think so. Right? Mm-mm. You need to know what you need from hospital. Here, if an ambulance comes to get you, you also probably need to know which ambulance to call. Because here, an ambulance is pretty much just people with a vehicle and absolutely no medical training. I think I heard there are like maybe 40 city-run ambulances in the city. Is that the right number? Adelia knows. Is that the right number? Is it 40? It's something like that. 40 city in a city of 20-something million people. So you can call 911, but girl, who gonna come get you? Right? Like sometimes I think there's a system where like the ambulances are racing to come. Like if they know there's an accident or something, they'll race to get there, and whoever gets there first gets the people. Oh, it's 40. It's not. I was wrong. It's not 40. It's 42. It's 42 ambulances in a city of like 21, 22, 23. I always lose count of what it is. Millions of people. There are 42 city-run ambulances, and the rest are legit people with no. They have transportation. There may be a bed in the back of the van. The whole family might be in there. A little 2-year-old might be in the back eating snacks. Different levels of care. There are more ambulances than 42. There are 42 city run. The private ones, whichever ones are probably likely to come get you, you want to know who to call. You can't call just anybody, right? Like that's how things are here. And people, that's the thing. Local people know this. Like they know they know what service levels to expect. They know what they're going to get when they make this call. And they know if they want something specific, they've already figured out who to call. As someone moving to a place, you need to figure this out too. And no one talks about this, right? No one says like, you need to figure out what ambulance you're going to call. I'm here to say, these are things to think about, right? Like these are things to think about when you're going abroad. What's the ambulance service like? Can I just call a number and a well-trained company is going to come get me? Or do I need to make sure I have a number of like the ambulances that actually have like medically trained people in the back? And it's not just a guy with a van, right? And his brother picking you up and carrying you out. I still haven't watched this because my tolerance for reality is real low right now. My tolerance is real low. And so we're not. Yes. 9 times out of 10, like if I am not about to pass out, I'm about to get an Uber. Here, it's about to be an Uber. No. Oxygen? What? You having a heart attack? Oh, well, I hope you survive on the way to the hospital. It's a van. A van. I mean, if you get a taxi, like, I get what you're asking, but there's no way of knowing that when you're getting to anyone's transportation, right? Like, you're probably not going to be worried about being trafficked if you need an ambulance, right? If you're at a point where you need an ambulance, like getting trafficked is probably the least of your worries. And people probably aren't trying to traffic people in the middle of a medical crisis. Like if you are in a city where ambulances are a little sketchy and you feel the need to call one, it's probably not like trafficking hour, right? Like you might be holding on to your thumb in one hand, right? Or like, COVID got the worst of you. They're not trying to traffic you. But yeah, those are things you need to think about. So what hospital do you want to get care in, right? Now, not every hospital system is going to be like this. You need to figure out how to maneuver through your local hospital system. Some of them are going to be like amazing and beautiful, and they're going to be much better than the US is, and you're going to feel well taken care of. But you need to figure out how you are going to maneuver the local hospital system. And that includes your pharmacies, it includes your doctors, your hospitals, your ambulances, because are these things some things that expat groups will help with? It depends. So if I want medical advice, medical references, I go to the moms group. I'm in a group for moms here just because they be knowing everything. And that is where I go. Is it better here? Is it better with private hospitals? Yes. Which is why you need to know if you're in an ambulance, tell them, take me to the private hospital, but take me to this private hospital. Like you'll get food. The public hospitals don't do sheets on your bed. Your family needs to bring you sheets for that bed. Otherwise, just laying on the plastic thing. I went to a clinic the other day and I sat on the plastic thing. There was no there's no paper or nothing, just the plastic thing. Okay. For this clinic visit, I don't mind. If I was in a hospital and I had to lay on that, we would have a problem. Know where you're going. Okay. So yeah, so some expat groups are like, who wants to go to the club tonight? And some expat groups are like, my son is having a hard time and I need an ENT specialist. So my point is, Yes, the expat groups can help, but you have to know which group you're in, because I need an ENT specialist is not a question I'm going to ask in the who's going to the club tonight group, because I don't trust them. I don't trust them. The moms, I trust the moms. They've been to every doctor in town. I need a plumber every day. I got my plumber from the mom group. I went in there and I searched plumbers. Saw who popped out. Called one, reached out to 4 people. One of them, excellent. Would refer him to anybody. The homie. The quote was the price. He did excellent work. He cleaned up afterwards. He put my toilet roll holder back on the wall. Excellent, because I couldn't figure out how to get it back on. It had fallen off, and I jiggle jangled it. It didn't work. He figured it out. Yes. Sarah said same in Panama's public hospital. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. No sheets. But if you're covered under the Mexican healthcare system, you can get free care, right? I think I could register and I could get free care in that hospital. It's just not my choice, right? But if you can get free care and you don't have money to go to a private hospital, do you really care if there are sheets or not, right? You might. Someone else might not. Someone else might just be like, I'm seeing a doctor for free. Let's do this. And my family, because I live here and I have family here, they just bring the sheets. They bring the food. No big. It's the food more than the sheets for me. It's the sheets, truly. But I got to have someone else bring me my 7 meals a day. Like who would that be? Adelia would be sick of me because I'd be like, the doctor said I can't eat, but bring me a steak. Bring me a steak. I had one time I had a colonoscopy and I woke up asking the nurse if I could go get ribs now. She was like, no. I was like, when I leave though, can I go get? She was like, no. I was like, but I want ribs. Woo! I was not ready for ribs. I found out quickly. My insides were not ready for ribs. I did not have them at all, but I found out. She was like, no, you can't. I literally woke up like, I would like some ribs. It's time to go get ribs. She suggested yes down. I have not. So my plan in May was to go get all the services I needed to do, and it's June. I think that was my plan for April. I really think that was my April plan. I haven't done it yet. Yes, I called my landlord and was like, I'm having a plumbing issue. And she was like, cool, handle that. But I looked at my lease and my lease was like, if something ain't working, you need to handle it. And I was like, okay, well, I missed that the first time when I signed the lease and I signed the extension, but I see it clear as day now. Okay. It was $40. Same day, sir. The guy came within 3 hours at a clogged toilet. Came within 3 hours of me reaching out to him. I think maybe 2. I think maybe it was 2 hours. And unclogged, picked the toilet off the floor, undid it, did it back up, all that stuff, cleaned the whole thing. It's $40. So yes, where were I wanted ribs. I woke up like I haven't eaten. I've just been drinking. Y'all know if you had colonoscopy, I've just been drinking this fluid. It's nasty. I ain't ate nothing solid in a while. I want some ribs. I want some ribs. And she said no. Okay. I would, in Mexico City, there's a group called Mexico City Moms. In any city you go to, just search for like, they're expats. They're definitely expats, but search for moms. Search for like, Guadalajara moms. Search for Parisian mom. Search for or like whatever mother is in the language you're going to, right? Search, see if you can find something. I found one here. Excellent. They be knowing stuff. Our friend Ashley in Africa, who was on this channel before, posted about her hospital experience. And that actually sounds quite good. The idea, okay, so I actually like the idea of paying for everything in advance because I'm going to drop a link to the video she did with me, and you can find her YouTube link from that. Thank you, Sibongile. Sibongile. Child, I know I've gotten it right before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because like the problem with hospitals is you go in there and then when they're done, they're like, and that'll be $100,000. And you're like, no heads up, no heads up, no nothing. You're just going. I have no idea what this is going to cost. And even if you can try to get them to tell you in advance what they try to tell you and what it actually is, and then all the other doctors like, oh yeah, but this doctor wasn't included, and this doctor wasn't included, and this service wasn't included because, like, you know, the anesthesiologist is on a different plan. And pay in advance so I know what I'm paying for. Give me that. Give me that. The mom group didn't come from me. The mom group was either Adelia or Roxanne, who was also on my channel. Roxanne, who's in Panama. One of them gave me the tip about the mom group. I don't remember who it was. Yes, I had to get my own plumber. I was like, there's a plumbing problem. And she was like, that's nice. Not that I really like my landlord, but she very much was like, okay, well then take care of it. Okay, bye. Woo! I said, okay, well, glad we talked about that. I really thought, I was like, no, I'm looking at my lease. If it says she needs to take care of this, she gonna take care of it. I looked at my lease and I was like, no, I need to take care of it. So I guess I will. Adelia Aborishade, known online as Picky Girl from Picky Girl Travels the World, is a wealth of information and knowledge. I will never say differently. She knows a lot and she shares her wisdom freely. If you want to move to Mexico City and you're not subscribed to her channel, you're slipping. If you want to move to Mexico in general and you're not subscribed to her channel, this woman on the screen right now, you are slipping. If you want to get your money right so that you can move abroad and you're not subscribed to her channel, you're late. Get in the game. It's time. Get your head in the game. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. A wealth of information. Okay. She's also a hater, but whatever. Okay. Simona, thank you, boo. I'm gonna eat ribs this week. I'm gonna eat ribs. Actually, I'm not, because I'm not eating sugar in the month of June. Long story for another day, because we already spent 15 minutes on the sheet hour. So I won't eat ribs, because ribs without the sugar from barbecue sauce just sound not appealing to me. All right. Ooh. You know, maybe you can negotiate into your lease that your landlord takes care of everything. I didn't even think about that. I was like, give it to me. Give it to me. Sign me up. And my landlord apparently knows what my lease says better than I do. And I don't know. Maybe this is something to find out too. I don't know if that's what's typical here. Like coming from the US, I just kind of expected if there was a problem, my landlord would take care of it. And I don't know if I rented from the building management, would it be different? But because I rent from a purchase, like this is the condo that someone purchased and I'm renting from them, I don't know if it's different. I don't know what is typical here. I just know what my lease says. And my lease says, if I break it, I need to take care of it in a timely, that's not I need to take care of it in a timely manner. Timely. I have responsibilities I need to take care of, not just take care of it, but chop, get to it. So she's not. She can't quit me. She's never gonna quit me. I'm gonna stalk her forever. Forever. She knows it too. I'm gonna stalk her forever. It isn't common here for people to, for which part? Which one isn't common, Adelia? For landlords to take care of it or for you to be responsible for taking care of it? I don't know. I don't even like her. We're not friends, Wendy. I don't like her. Yeah, it's not common for landlords to fix stuff, is what Adelia's saying. So, and that's why I think she didn't pause at all. She was like, okay, it doesn't work. Go fix it. Like, why is you on my phone? It literally, like, in the nicest way possible, she was like, that's unfortunate. Call a plumber. I was like, wait. Like, you have a better chance of knowing a plumber who's going to charge a reasonable rate because you live here and you've lived here for a long time more than me. I would think that you would want. She was like, that's not my business. Your plumbing problem is not mine. All right. I don't know how we got to a plumber. We talked about healthcare. We're going to talk about making connections. Local Facebook groups, expat Facebook groups, activities. When I went to Exodus, I use a plugin on Chrome called something, Clipboard Pro. What's that called? Cloud Pro? Nope. Something Pro. If y'all want to know, I'll tell you later. I don't know what it's called. It's not showing up. But it copies every link I've ever copied. So everything I copy gets saved there. So I went in there, I typed it, and I can type in things and search for them. So I typed in meetup earlier to find the Exodus meetup link. And the first thing that came up was on a meetup.com event, and it was a speed dating event. Now, I didn't go because humans, but things like that are important when you're moving to a new city. Like, how are you going to make new friends? Sandra, it's not Evernote. It's some other extension. I didn't like Evernote when I used it years ago, but I haven't tried it recently. Yeah, find how are you going to make friends, right? So Facebook groups, I joined a International Women's Club here. It's mostly expats, but from all over. Like, I made a friend from Peru, and we're going to go play tennis one day, which really means I'm going to try to hit a ball and hopefully not get embarrassed. But like, the opportunity to meet lots of people is there if you take advantage of it. For you extroverts, maybe you'll have no problem. For you introverts, it might take a little bit more work. It takes some work for me. I don't like group events. So Adelia and I were talking the other day with Ivana and Teresa about, Teresa was definitely there, about an event that this International Women's Club is doing. If any of y'all watch this, know that I love y'all with my whole heart, but I am who I am. They're going out of town and they're going to this garden and they're taking a boat ride on a lake, and it sounds lovely, except I think there were 12 women going in a van, and it was like 2 hours away. So I'd be sitting in a van with 12 women I don't know for 2 hours there and 2 hours back. It's too many women. It's too many hours, right? Like, not. I think the whole thing was going to be like a 12-hour event with 12 women. In a van? We're all in club in a pandemia. So figure out your style for meeting people. I love one-to-one. If I'm going to meet strangers, give me one-to-one. Don't give me a group. Give me a one-to-one. We can sit down, we can talk, I can get to know you. And so that's why, like, figuring out how I want to meet people. If I'm doing large events, I like it to be structured. I told you guys I went to see like Magic Mike the other day, and someone's like the cinema in their building where they live. And that was okay because like we were going to eat and talk, and then we were going to watch a movie, and then we were going to leave, right? I can watch a movie with large groups of people, but 12 hours with 12 people? No. Church was like, it's great. You guys should go. And we were all like, the introverts in the room were like, you don't hear what you're saying to us, but that sounds terrible. So think about how you want to make friends, and then put yourself in those situations. Like, if you want to meet people one-to-one, be intentional about trying to set that up. If you love group meetings, there's so many group events here. There are groups of people who want to go eat together. Once again, going out to eat with 8 strangers is my nightmare. But for people who are like, love that stuff, go. That's you. I love it. Good for you. I'm just taking your restaurant recommendations. I'm looking to see which restaurants y'all are going to. Maybe one day I'll try it in a group of 2 or 3. Right? So figure out what you need and how you can make community. Join as many, I would say, overjoin on groups. Join all the groups you think might be slightly relevant. And then as you realize what they're good for, you can leave some, right? Learn what you want to learn, leave some. Same thing for WhatsApp groups. Get into the WhatsApp groups if they have them, and then leave them. Because they're not, like I said, some groups here are simply like, where the potty at? And then some groups are like, I need to find, you want a plumber, they're in there. You want cupcakes, they're in there. You want an ENT specialist, is in there. Like, all you gotta do is hit that search bar and boom, boom, they're there for you, right? If they're not in there, you ask, you're gonna get great recommendations. And so figure out what you need the most, and then find people in those groups that you can have some commonality with. All right. Okay, Simi is beating me to the punch because after making connections, I had learning the language. Okay. How are you going to learn the language? Like I said, I was taking private Spanish classes when I first moved here, but I, at the time, didn't really have a regular time. And then my Spanish teacher couldn't really meet at a regular time. And so every week we had to like pick what time it was going to be the next week. And then sometimes if we forgot to do it, it didn't happen. And that just doesn't, for me, I need to be a regular time every week or it doesn't happen. So how are you going to learn? I still have the book I bought when I was working with her, which is what I opened today. And then realized it felt like my brain was just dehydrated. Like the whole brain was dehydrated. Like it was a sponge. My brain felt like a dry sponge this morning. And so by FDM. And so I didn't do that, but university here has Spanish classes. Our friend, I don't know if you guys know Queen. She's here in the city right now. She's doing the intensive, and she was like, it's too intense. So I learned that from her. I knew that the classes were very intense. This is the one I thought I was going to sign up for, and I didn't. for my own reasons. I didn't sign up for it this time, but she was like, it's too much. They learn a week of Spanish each day. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I need to figure out, I need to get back in Spanish language classes. And I recommend that wherever you're going, you find classes too, because you need it. I have not checked out the Spanish courses offered by La Garantita. One of the reasons I want to do Spanish classes at the university is not too far from me, they do in-person classes. And so I was considering going for the in-person classes. It didn't work in my schedule and the rain schedule for the summer. So I decided not to go in the summer because it usually, this year is an anomaly, but usually it rains every day at like 6 o'clock. And the classes, I would have been walking in the rain, probably to class and from class. And I was like, this doesn't sound like something I'm going to actually commit to every day. Cause like, it's too close to get an Uber really realistically. And walking in the rain just does not sound like my idea of a good time. Do you watch local TV shows or listen to audiobooks in Spanish to learn the language? I'm starting to watch the news. I don't watch the news. I'm starting to listen to podcasts, but all the podcasts are like newsy podcasts. Like the other day I was listening to one and it was about the school shooting in the US. And I was like, I don't want to, that's not how I want to learn Spanish. I don't want like, this is not how I want to learn. So I gave up on that day. I might try it another day, but I also want to try this one. I haven't listened to it yet, but I downloaded it and I want to see, it is for Spanish. It's news in slow Spanish. See, news in slow. I don't know if I can get that any clearer. Boop, boop, news in slow Spanish. Oh, wait, it's playing. That's not what I meant to do. All right. So I'm going to try news in slow Spanish and see if that helps at all. I started watching I started watching House of Flowers, Casa de Flores, I think. But there were some parts in there where I was like, I don't really enjoy this storyline. There's some race things happening that I'm not really enjoying. So I had to like give that up. Okay, Simone says news and slow is good too. Okay, yes. Apparently all y'all knew about news and slow Spanish but me. I found out about it from a Facebook group, I think, about 3 weeks ago. So I'm gonna give that a try. All right. Next on the list. Learn your languages. My Spanish is getting better. Just being here makes my Spanish better. But there's always, I have found that in Mexico City, if I pretend to speak, like if I speak Spanish, people forget that I can't speak Spanish, right? If I open the door to Spanish, it's a mile a minute. It's coming at me. People are like, boom. And I'm like, I said hello. Like, give me a minute. I said hello, and I don't know. You said a lot more than that back, and I need some time. I'm back on the dating apps, and I'm being clear that like I speak a little bit of Spanish, so we could speak a little bit of Spanish, and I'm using Google Translate to help me. They can write in Spanish, but I'm gonna write back in English. Like I'm using Google Translate to understand what you're saying. If you want to know what I'm saying and you don't get it, pray you use Google Translate too, or you can always unmatch. Because like I can't, especially when it comes to something like dating, I think it's important to be clear as possible. And because I don't know all the way slang is used in Spanish, and multiple words can mean multiple things. I don't want to start using Spanish words that I don't understand the full breadth and use of and say something I don't really mean. So, hey, Asia, let's see. But I'm back on the apps. We gonna be dating again. I'm stealing Adelia's dream, which is finding a man to bring me tacos. A man the other day said he was going to take me to tacos. He was going to tacos, but he would take me to tacos a different day. And I was like, but what about today? All right. Next on the list, local banking. What do you need to open a local bank account? Do you have it? How much money do you need to put in your local bank account? Do you want to open a local bank account? What are the rules? What happens if your money goes missing in another country, right? Like the FDIC is an American institution. So in the country you're going to, what happens if the bank fails and your money's gone? Or what happens if the bank just takes your money? And who can take your money? Can the government take your money? Like these are things you need to research. What happens to your money? What happens if your money disappears? If the bank goes under? If it's a government-run bank, like some places have government-run financial institutions, and the government fails and your money is gone, what happens? What you do? I'm not saying don't open a local bank account. I'm saying no big deal. A lot of us moving from the US want to divest from America, but we want to divest in different levels. Everyone has their level of how much involvement. This actually goes into the next thing. They have their level of how much investment they want to have in America. And one thing people talk about is like moving all of their money from the US. I know what happens if my US bank fails, right? I don't know what happens if a bank in Mexico fails because I've never researched it. Because I've told you guys on videos before, them lines outside of these Mexican banks have me like, nah, I don't need a local bank account. I need an ATM card, which I can use to go into a local bank, take my money out, and not pay fees. But I don't need a local bank account. There are reasons a local bank account would be beneficial here. And in Mexico, they do a lot of transfers bank account to bank account with vendors. So when I went to like the furniture market, the used, it's like a used market. They sell lots of like antiques, stuff. The guy was like, you can pay with cash or you can transfer money to a bank account. Otherwise, you're not leaving here with anything. No credit cards, no nothing. But not a lot of places are like that. I could have gone to the ATM and got him cash. I didn't need to do the bank transfer. Bank transfer is often easier if you bank transfer is easier if you're not with someone, right? Because a lot of times in these Facebook groups, people are like, I'm selling this desk. You need to deposit money in my bank. If you want me to hold, I saw one yesterday. I'll hold it for you if you deposit money in my bank account, which didn't work for me because like I got to deposit money before I even see the thing. And then what happens if I don't want it? Do I get my money back? Probably not. No, thank you. But things to think about, like local banking is a thing. There are very few reasons not to have a local bank account, truly. I just don't want, I see the lines. When I see people waiting outside in the sun, I know I don't want that in my life. Keeping it real. I know, but I see you standing outside in the line to bank. I don't want to have to go in a bank. I don't want to have to wait in line to access my money. And so, no, I'm not doing that. Right? It's not for me. So I have an open local bank account. But if you want to, don't move all your money, no matter what country you're going to. Like moving all of your money is a big decision, and you need to make sure you know what you're doing. Which comes us to the next topic, which are taxes. Right? Like, do you know what you'll get taxed? If you move all your money into a country, will that have any economic impact on you, right? If you're, are you doing anything in the country that is likely to set you up to have to pay taxes? Things you need to know before you move in. Back to U.S. ties, which is our last topic today. What U.S. ties do you want to keep? I have an address. I have a phone number. I have a bank account. I have investment accounts. I have my storage, which I will not have forever, but I have right now. I think those are my U.S. and like my family, but like it's not a time. It's most of us aren't moving to get rid of our family ties, although some of you are, and I respect it. I respect it. So think about what the ties are that tie you back to the U.S. and how you're going to handle that. Without a U.S. address, I don't know that I'd be able to keep my U.S. bank account and my U.S. investment accounts, right? And so if I'm not ready to cash out, I probably need a place in the U.S. And maybe I could do it with a foreign address, but would I still be able to invest unless if I did not have a U.S. address? Oh no. If I don't have a U.S. phone number, there are places in the U.S. that I can't. Like they just don't have a place for you to input a foreign number. It's weird, but some places are like that. Another reason I keep my U.S. number is because everything that I've set up in the past with two-factor authentication is at the number, right? It's the number everybody texts. So let's just do it, right? I keep it. It's fine. What are the ties that you're going to continue to have? And what are the ties you can cut without having major impact to you? I definitely recommend keeping an address. You never know. You never know what you're going to need and what you're not going to need. Addresses are going to be valuable for a number of reasons. My U.S. address is my mom's house, right? Like if she didn't live there, it would be my cousin's house. It's a place I can keep thingy. I don't know if you can keep a U.S. bank account with a virtual mailbox. I don't know if I told a Bank of America, I shouldn't, but I've been with them for 25 years now, 23, 24 years now. It's a long time. Adelia said yes, she did with a virtual mailbox. So that worked out. I have a P.O. box. I forgot about that one. So I could probably do a lot of stuff with the P.O. box. If you're going back to the U.S. with any frequency, especially if you want to bring things down with you, like I like having a place where I can ship things and pick them up and bring them down here with me, things that I can't get here. All right. Y'all are in the comments having a grand old time. How does filing U.S. taxes out of country work? It's a very complicated question. And I'm only going to answer the filing part. And the filing part is basically America don't care where you are as long as they get their money, right? Like there's a lot. That is a question that you should talk to a financial advisor about. But because there's a lot of specific to you questions that need to be answered, but we can't cover here. But generally, they want their money. Or they at least want you to file. Even if you don't pay the money, they want you to file. Mary Dean says P.O. boxes don't count for taxes, etc. So I couldn't use my P.O. box. But I use, of course, because they need to know your physical address to know what state taxes, etc. Anyway, I use my mom's address. It's the last place I lived in the U.S. All right. That was it on my list. Make sure you know what U.S. ties you're willing to cut. You can keep what you need to do. Like, so if you only had a P.O. box, you couldn't use that address for taxes. And so you would need another address. If you wanted to keep an address in the U.S., that could be tied to your taxes. If you don't have an address in the US, I don't know how that works. I know it's not as simple as saying, I don't have an address, I don't have to pay taxes. I know it's not that simple. Like you probably still need to file. I don't know. I'm not a tax expert. I hire a tax expert because I don't know that. Okay, friends, what haven't we covered today? Tell me. You can still vote. Most expat groups have a lot of foreigners in them. Will keep you up to date about like voting information. Go request your ballot. But you have to like mail it back to the US. The process is not always the same everywhere. I think the process in Thailand was different from the process in Mexico. I don't remember why. But it's much easier to vote in a national election than it is in a local election. So if you're like if it's like a cycle where there's only a local election, that is very hard. In my experience, I found it very hard to do from abroad. Whereas if it's like, once every 4 years, voting for president, that's much easier I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's easier to do from abroad. All right. All right. So I said what haven't we covered? I'm talking specifically about things to think about when you move. Insurance providers that work best for expats. Complicated question. That's a whole other video. I see you, Kenya. That's a whole other video. And what I should do, but not today. I thought you could drop your ballot off at the embassy, but the last time they were doing elections here, I don't know if it's because of COVID, but I remember seeing things about mail the ballot to the US. And so Adelia says, yes, you can do it, but do you trust it? I remember last time I saw some go to DHL and mail it in. And I was like, the embassy's like right next to DHL. Why can't I just drop it off at the embassy? The embassy in Mexico is not easy. It's not. It's like the line and the this and the COVID and the that and then you can't have anything on you. And so I'm sure all embassies are the same, but yeah. All right. What are we talking about? I think we're done. I think we covered it. I think we're good. It is 8 o'clock here. So it's past my bedtime. My alarm, legit, it's 7:55 here. At 8:14 every night, an alarm goes off on my phone. An alarm. My phone does not make noise. So an alert pops up on the screen that says, baby, it's not so, your bedtime is set for 9 o'clock. It's 8:14. It's time to wind down. So in 20 minutes, my phone is going to tell me it's time to get between the sheets. So thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for this time. Thank you for understanding why I could not go live this morning because, child, it was a mess. Because Delia tried to kill me yesterday after she hurt my feelings. And I will talk to you guys next week. I might have a video midweek. I haven't been in the mood to record. Like going live with y'all, I really like, but I haven't been in the mood to record. Just stare at the screen and talk. And so I haven't done it. I kind of feel like if I'm not in the mood to do it, I shouldn't do it. If you want to move abroad, if you want to take a career break, from burnouttobliss.co, and that is co, that's not a com. It is a .co. Come through. A bunch of students are in the comments right now and they love it. We're waiting for you to join the club. We're waiting for you to join the club. Oh, I can see myself through there now. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I'm getting delirious. That's what that was. It's time for me to eat and sleep. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night. It is Sunday. Have a great week, y'all. Have a great week. whatever you're doing. Enjoy life. Talk to you. Bye.